talk. So here's your lesson for today. We are doing lesson 8.4. If you have your Swun book, it's on page 221. If you don't have your Swun book, then I will link the item on Google Classroom and you can just copy the problems from there. Okay? All right, so today we are dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. We are dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. So our objective is today I will solve word problems involving division of a whole number by a unit fraction. So before spring break, we were dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. This time we're reversing it and we're dividing the whole number first by the unit fraction. And just so you remember, a unit fraction is a fraction that has 1 as a numerator. So 1/2 is a unit fraction. 1/3 is a unit fraction. So tell me 2 unit fractions that you can think of. I bet somebody said 1/4. And probably 1/5. Alright, so let's get started. Our vocabulary also is the same. We have unit fractions, like I said, any fraction that has a 1 as a numerator. And the measure up strategy, which we will also talk about in this lesson. The measure up strategy is used when the number in each share is known. Portion out groups of the divided. Let me read that again. Because guess what? Miss Pratt doesn't have her glasses on. So I'm going to get my glasses. Hold on. That's better. Okay. So the measuring up strategy is used when the number in each share is known. So usually we're solving for the unknown. In the measure up strategy, we're solving what we know. We already know everything. So portion out groups of the dividend the size of the divisor to find the number of groups. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first problem says, Jack and Jill are cutting paper to make origami stars. They need 1/5 of a sheet of paper in order to make each star. If they have 6 sheets of paper, how many stars can they make? Explain your work and draw a picture to support your reasoning. So in order to find out how many origami stars Jack and Jill can make, we have to divide 6 sheets of paper by 1/5. So the important numbers in the problem that I just read were 6 and 1/5. So, where are you guys? There we go. Okay, so they have 6 sheets of paper. It takes 1/5 of every sheet of paper to make a star. So our problem is going to be 6 divided by 1/5. 6 divided by 1/5. So I'm also going to draw 6 squares just to show you what it looks like in a model form. Alright, I have my 6 squares. And I know that each square has to be divided into fifths because they need 1/5 of the paper to make a star. So then we divide up our paper into fifths. So go ahead and divide it into fifths. Alright, so now I have, let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see better. Alright, there we go. Now I have all 6 of my boxes divided into fifths. So we can count them and see how many strips of paper they're going to need, or they're going to get out of the 6 papers that they have. So we can count them. Count with me. Count with me. Count with me. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So Jack and Jill are going to be able to make 30 stars with 6 sheets of paper. So they're going to be able to make 30 stars with 6 sheets of paper. So another way you can do this is, if you notice, what's 6 times 5? 6 times 5 is 30. So again, if you put a 1 under a whole number, it still equals the whole number. So I turn my whole number into a fraction. So now I have the problem set up with 2 fractions dividing with a division symbol in between. And again, you notice if you multiply the numerator on the first fraction by the denominator of the second fraction, you get the answer. Okay? Pretty soon, in the next couple of lessons, we're going to learn another way, a quicker way, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy that way. But for this lesson, this is how we need to do it. So let's recap. So first, we read the problem. So Jack and Jill are cutting paper to make origami stars. They need 1/5 of a sheet of paper in order to make each star. If they have 6 sheets of paper, how many stars can they make? Explain your work and draw a picture to support your reasoning. So we wrote out our number sentence, which was 6 divided by 1/5. 6 sheets of paper takes 1/5 of each sheet of paper to make a star. Then we drew a model. We drew out 6 boxes to represent our paper. So 1 sheet of paper, 2 sheet of paper, 3 sheet of paper, 4, 5, and 6. Then we divided all the boxes into fifths because it takes 1/5 of a sheet of paper to make a star. So we divided our boxes into fifths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then lastly, after we divided everything into fifths, we just counted all the strips of paper. So this was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that is the model way. Again, the algorithm is to change the whole number into a fraction. So I put a 1 underneath my whole number because it's still going to equal 6. I cannot change the whole number. It has to still equal 6. So I put a 1 as a denominator and it still equals 6. And then divided by 1/5 because again, they have 1/5 of paper, or 1/5 of each sheet of paper. And then I multiplied the numerator of the first fraction and the denominator of the second fraction, and I got 30. So I am going to leave this for just a second. Remember, you can always pause the video to look at it or rewind it if you missed a step. And then we're going to do another one together. So I'm going to erase the board and I'm going to do the second sample problem. So for the second sample problem, I'm going to do a number line method so you can see that method as well. So the second problem says, I have 4 cups of trail mix. How many baggies of 1/3 cup mix can I make? I have 4 cups of trail mix. How many baggies of 1/3 cup mix can I make? So first of all, let's always start with our number sentence. So how many bags or how many cups of trail mix did it say you had? You had 4. All right. And you're going to put 1/3 cup into each bag. So we're going to divide this by 1/3. All right, so let's start with our model. I am still going to do the number line, but I think I should start with a model first just so you can see it better. So there are my 4 cups of trail mix, okay? And I want to make baggies that have 1/3 of the mix. So how many ways am I going to divide my cups? If you said thirds, you are correct. So let's divide it into thirds. All right, I have divided my 4 cups into thirds. Now, the next step, we can count them all and then we'll do the algorithm. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, if you had 4 cups of trail mix and you wanted to make baggies that had 1/3 of the mix, you could make 12 bags worth of trail mix. So I'm going to hold that there for you. Again, you can pause it if you need to, but I'm also going to do a number line for you. All right, so I'm not gonna erase because I want you to see it. So let's make a number line. All right, here's the start of our number line. There's the end of our number line. We're gonna start our number line at 0, and we're gonna end at 4. Okay. Now, first of all, let's make our tally mark to separate it until we get to 4. So this is 0. This represents 1. This represents 2. This represents 3. Move over just a little bit. Alright, so now we see our number line 1 through 4. And then we're going to divide each section into thirds. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Now we're going to count how many marks we have on a number line until we get to 4. So let's count. How many jumps is it going to take us? Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Is that a match? I think so. Thumbs up if you got that. Alright, so here it is with both a number line and also a drawing model. Again, pause it if you need to. So, I started with our number sentence. That's our number sentence. I drew a model. We got the same answer. And then I drew a number line. And we got the same answer. Now let's do the algorithm. That's the 4th and final way to solve this problem. And again, I'm going to rewrite the problem. Remember, you guys can always go back or pause or rewind or whatever you need to do. But I have to erase. So again, the problem said 4 cups of trail mix divided into 4 cups of trail mix, and they want to make 1/3 baggies. All right, 4 cups of trail mix, 1/3 baggies. All right. Now remember, if we put a 1 under a whole number, it keeps the whole number equivalent or the same. So I did not change the whole number. I just made it into a fraction. It still equals 4 though. So remember what I said. If you multiply the numerator of the first fraction by the denominator of the second fraction, you'll get your answer. So what's 4 times 3? If you said 12, you are correct. If you didn't say 12, you better practice your multiplication facts. All right. So those are 3 ways we can solve fractions when we are dividing whole numbers by unit fractions. And again, in our next couple lessons, we're gonna see more of the algorithm method, but it's also good to know how to solve it with the area model and on a number line. So that is the end of this lesson. You guys need to complete the student guided practice if you have your book, and the homework, which will be online. Again, you can go to the Swun website if you don't have your book, and you can print it out from there. If you don't have a printer, I'm not going to make you write out the entire word problem, but I want you to write out the number sentence of the word problem and solve it, okay? So you can either do it number line method or area model method. It's up to you. All right.